Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the Gretzky Center here on a Thursday night. Brantford Titan Hockey, another edition of the GOHL. These two teams, the Fort Erie Meteors and Brantford Titans, meeting for the second time this season. Brantford hoping for a better result than the first time them and Fort Erie faced off. A 7-2 loss, looking to bounce back here on home ice. First time Fort Erie's been to Brantford this season. We're underway. I'm Alec Murray. Thank you for joining us on Flow Hockey. As that'll be fired up through center, knocked down by a high stick. Now we'll get into the starting goaltenders tonight for both teams. We'll start with the visiting Fort Erie Meteors in between the pipes. It'll be Finn Moffat getting the start for the Meteors. 14-3-2 on the season, a 194 and a 928 for Moffat. Outstanding numbers for the Meteor netminder. And in between the pipes for the Brantford Titans, James Gall will get the start for Brantford yet again. He's been very good, especially mark up the last three games. This Titans team coming in on a 3-game win streak. He's been a massive part of it. 9-10-2 on the season for Gull, a 355 and a 907 for the Titan starter. As that'll be played down into the Meteors zone. Rylan Masterson on it. He'll send it around. A couple of streaks on the line here tonight. Brantford trying to separate themselves in the standings race. They sit in 6th place right now above the Air Centennials. 5 points up on Air, who plays Caledonia tonight. We'll keep you updated on that one. But Brantford, winners of 3 in a row coming into this one. An overtime win over Caledonia in their last game, 3-2. Fort Erie coming in winners of 9 straight, looking to extend it to a 10th straight win here tonight in Brantford. They're coming off a win over Cambridge on Wednesday afternoon. Here's Caleb Frank trying to cut the edge. He gets pushed into the corner. Mulholland stepping up on the point. It'll be picked off here by the Meteors, and they'll flip it out through center. Mazzotti looking for Cunningham. Cunningham around to the far side. Van Ploeg in a battle for it. Ben Chahadi in the lineup tonight for Brantford as an affiliated player. Playing up for the Brantford Titans team here tonight. Here's a turnover in the zone. Reese Meteor down low. Meteor plays it around to the near side, down below the goal line. Up top, that pass is deflected back into the corner. Fort Erie on this 9-game win streak coming in, outscoring opponents 42-10. As Mulholland plays it for Kim LeMay, but it's turned over. Into the high slot, Rylan Masterson bobbled off his stick. Now it could be a break on the far side, but just out of the reach that time. As they'll have to circle back, Mateo Gauthier. Colton Radford up at center. Here's Cunningham one-on-one. Cunningham fanned on the shot. Radford in behind the goal, chips it to the far side. Takis picks it up there for Brantford. Trying to shovel that puck down low, turned it over. Radford brings it out for the Meteors. Up top, here's Tonelli with space. He fires just high. Cunningham will whack at the rebound, but he missed it. Shoveled back up along the near side, Chahadi. Can't clear the zone. O'Farrell will fire one from the blue line. That's tipped wide. Pressure here from this top line of the Meteors as it's banged around to the near side boards. Tonelli tied up down low. He'll send it to the far side, Schmidt. Schmidt will pick it up and force it back down below the goal line. Greenwald trying to work it free. Tonelli comes in to help out. He'll free it up back up top to the blue line. Schmidt for Tonelli. Tonelli will turn back onto the half boards and knife it down low for Greenwald. Greenwald works it up on the far side, all the way back up to the blue line. Meteors getting changes as Greenwald will fire it in. O'Farrell tips it out front. Loose puck in the slot, and it bounced on the stick that time, and it'll be cleared by Brantford. Here they come back the other way. It's Wicklander moving in. Wicklander on goal. Moffat down the save. He'll cover and hang on as Caden Wicklander back into the lineup for the Brantford Titans here tonight. Off a stint up with the Brantford Bulldogs in the Ontario Hockey League. Big losses on the back end for Brantford, of course, tonight. Their 2 top defensemen out of the lineup, up with the Brantford Bulldogs as well. So they'll have to see what they can do without them in the lineup in Christie and Buckman. Flip deep into the zone as Brantford will reset in their own end. That pass up along the boards. It'll be chipped out at center. Little dump feed to Ryan Scriven. He's into the zone. Scriven on Mazzotti, gets it down low. Watt will come in to work that puck free. Here's Scriven coming out front, a shot. Moffat the save. Loose puck down is Moffat. Scrum out front of the Fort Erie net. Brantford holds it in. There's a drive from the point. It's blocked just wide. And now Fort Erie will bang it out through the neutral zone. Aiden Crowell flips it back for Watt. He turned it over. Zimmerman heads in after it. Aiden Zimmerman and Scriven. They meet down in the corner, trying to work that puck free. Zimmerman has Nicholson with him. Nicholson will work it free for Adamo. Here's Adamo, a drive. He fanned on it. Gall kicks that to the corner. Back around the boards. It's held in by Valancourt, who draws back into the lineup for the Meteors for the first time in a couple of weeks. Wired back into the Brantford zone. Batted up in the air in the slot. Adamo back for Valancourt, who's off for it. He'll poke it down low for Zimmerman. Zimmerman trying to center it. Has it in behind the Brantford goal. Try to miss again, and he couldn't get it up onto his stick. That one coming toward the goal. Save made Gall. Another save made by Gall as Zimmerman gets hauled down in the Brantford zone. Good shift here from this Meteors team. They get it in deep again. Nicholson back up top. Zimmerman near side at Adamo. Missed him. Back up here. Masterson chips it across. Loose puck in behind the goal. Centering up top. Adamo missed it. Valancourt will hold it in. Brantford needs a change in the worst way. Got to get it out of the zone, though. Bouncing puck in the slot, and finally Stippen will carry it out through center. Brantford will get changes here as the puck's down in the Meteor zone. Danny Adamo, meanwhile, up at center. He'll go rink wide for Nicholson. Metz will make wholesale changes as Van Plu and Cunningham hop over the boards. Cunningham Lukes. In behind his goal, plays it around. Meteor had Mulholland tied up. Lukes will play it back off the glass and out at center. Bouncing puck, Cunningham will come in and knock it down. Deflected right back to him. He'll play it back off the boards for Meteor. Meteor's in onside. Little give for Van Plu, who fires just high. Rebound Cunningham, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Metz will work it back to O'Farrell at the point. Kicked into the slot. It'll be Kim LeMay tying his man up. Cunningham for Meteor. Here's Meteor in on goal. He scores. Well, the way the Meteors have started this hockey game, you figured it was going to come at some point. And Reese Meteor has his first in a long time for the Meteors as he buries it. And Fort Erie is off and running here on the road with a 1-0 lead. Meteor's fourth of the season gets Fort Erie on the board. Wicklander onto the far side. Brantford will dump it back in. That hits a stanchion on the glass, and it's fired back in by the Titans. Down below the goal line, trying to work that puck free. It's back up top to the point. Takix can't hold it. It'll be worked back out at center by Fort Erie Van Plu. Rink wide pass, nobody home. Capel back into the zone. His pass intercepted by Van Plu. He takes a tumble. Here's a drive on goal. Moffat the save. Battle for it back along the boards. It'll be knifed high through center. Bouncing puck, Cunningham comes right to him. Here's Cunningham into the zone. His shot on goal. He'll follow it on and go. We'll hang on for a face-off. Turnover in the Brantford zone up top. There's a drive. Tonelli out front all alone. Gall the save. Brantford having trouble in their own zone to start this hockey game off. Radford trying to work it free on the half wall. He'll poke it back to the blue line. Masterson took a tumble, and now it's a race for it. Out at center, back into the zone. Tonelli able to get there in time for the Meteors. His pass misfired. Arizona will dump it back in for Brantford. They'll make changes up front of the forward lines. Under 12 to play here in the first period. 1-0 Mets. Stippen, near side pass. There's a drive. They score! Ryan Scriven on a one-timer out front, and we're tied at 1. Scriven with a look at the Meteor bench on his way by, and exactly what Brantford needed here in the first period as they equalize this one all back up at 1. Meteors will dump it right back into the zone. Around to the far side, held in by Fort Erie. Turnover. Again, Brantford out front. Pepperell on goal. They score. They answer right back. Ethan Pepperell, not 20 seconds later, buries it, and Fort Erie's back on top 2-1. What a start to this hockey game. So just like that, Fort Erie back on the board here. It's 2-1, and both goals have come off turnovers in the offensive zone for Brantford. Another one, here it is. Trying to back it out front, Pepperell. He gets tied up. Down low, it'll be one up. Kim LeMay, out for Caleb Frank. They're up through center. Kim LeMay dishes off near side. Backdoor, Kim LeMay had a wide open goal, and he fanned on it. Beautiful passing play by Brantford, who was looking to come back and answer and tie it at 2. Fort Erie dodges a bullet. Here's O'Farrell, but he's in offside. So 3 goals, and we're not even halfway done this first period. 2-1, Meteors on top. Watts stretch pass. Noon in after it. Papel comes in as well, trying to work that puck free. It'll be freed up there by the Titans along the near side board. Wicklander battles for it down low. Papel lost it to Nicholson. He'll play it around the boards to Demo. Back through center ice, stood up at the blue line. Good play there by Watt. He'll send Wicklander back through across the Brantford logo at center. Wicklander, good play by Masterson on the back end. They'll fire it to the near side, but not out. Watt a drive, and Moffett will make the save. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard today on a Thursday across the Greater Ontario Hockey League. One final from earlier today. Cambridge, redemption on Thursday from their loss on Wednesday to Fort Erie. A 10-1 walloping of the Hamilton Kilty Bees this morning in the school day game. Cambridge back on track with their 29th win of the season. And in air, just underway in the first period, already 1-0 Centennials over the Caledonia Corvairs as Kyle Henneberry has his second. And in Sarnia, Listowel up 1-0 over the Legionnaires, also just a couple of minutes into that first period. Lofted high up through center into the Titans zone. That's going to be batted down in a hand pass. So the faceoff will come inside Titan territory. 9:32 to go here in this first period. A couple of quick goals in this first. Fort Erie, Brantford answered, and then Fort Erie again. Faceoff will come down to the left to go. Tonelli tied up off the draw. It's bouncing down into the far corner. Radford will play it back down low for Greenwald. Greenwald around up top in the slot. Radford fanned on it. Colton Radford goes back down low for Tonelli. Tonelli trying to work it free back for Schmidt on the blue line. Schmidt has Radford curling in. His shot was blocked out front. Loose puck, Tonelli gets tied up by Kim LeMay. It'll be played back onto the half boards. Rink wide pass. O'Farrell stepping up and in. Good coverage down low. Chahati takes him into the boards hard. Brantford will leak it out at center. Greenwald fires it back in. Mets will go for changes. 8:50 to go here in the first period. Back up at center. Gauthier gets tied up by Tonelli on the forechecks. Got to play it back. Chahati. Stretch pass up through center. Knocked down here by Mazzotti. Alex Mazzotti up for Tonelli into the zone. Chahati gets tied up with him, but able to play it to safety. Takis. He'll glide it down below his own goal line. Worked up at center. Bouncing puck will be knocked down by Thorpe on the back end. Thorpe will play it up for Nickerson. Nickerson, little feed for Kerr into the zone. Good stick by Takis. Coming back into the zone to deflect it up and out of play. Greater Ontario Hockey League's Prospect Challenge upcoming during the holiday break in London. 4 of your Brantford Titans named to that team. That is Team Williams, led by Quentin Kim LeMay, Caleb Frank, James Gollin, Mateo Gauthier will all represent Brantford during the holiday break in London at the Prospects Challenge for the Greater Ontario Hockey League. As Arajado will dump it down on goal. Finn Moffat will take no chances as he'll cover for a face-off in Meteor territory. Faceoff will be to the left of Moffat. Tied up off the draw. Waddle step up to hold it in. He'll play it down low. Stippen centering pass. It'll leak up top. Watt, far side, trying to knock it down was Crawl. Didn't work. Gets it back a second time. He'll play it in. Scriven dumps it back down low. Big hit by Valancourt on the end boards. He's getting tied up down low. And finally, they'll be freed up. Meteors will head out at center. Fort Erie right back into the zone. Nickerson looking for options out front. He gets tied up by Crowell, and it's played along to the far side. The captain will play it out for Brantford. Here they come back into the zone. Arajado out front, and it's tipped just high over top of the goal and out of play. Faceoff will be to the left of Moffat. Off the draw will be tied up Mulholland. Mulholland steps in down to the corner. Trying to shed O'Farrell, but O'Farrell will win the battle. Back to the point, though, held in by Capel. Wicklander has it in the corner. Caden Wicklander to the point. Cunningham lukes a drive. Save made by Moffat. Another one toward the net off the outside of the post. In behind the goal now. Good pressure here from the Titans. Mulholland. Far side pass. Hits his man. Back out front. Loose puck. Capel in the slot. Fires it wide. Trying to go back out front. Moffat's down. Loose puck will be picked up here by Zimmerman. He'll knife it hard off the glass and out at center. Capel fires it right back in for Brantford. Starting to find their groove here at the back end of this first period. 6:30 to play. As Zimmerman plays it off the boards and out. Cunningham Lukes up on the far side. Wicklander, little give and go with Capel. Oon in there as well, but he lost it, and now Fort Erie will work back up ice. Danny Adamo fires it in as the Mets will make changes. Zimmerman stays up in the forecheck. Brantford will just clear it back down as Thorpe will retreat into his own zone. Thorpe up for Cunningham, intercepted there by Takis. Takis up for Papel, loose. And Meteor will pick it up. Here goes Reese Meteor. Meteor trying to cut the edge on Takis. Good stick there from the Brantford defender. Down to the corner. Van Ploeg trying to work it free. Cunningham will back up top to the point. Here's Thorpe. Drive coming through. Gull to save. And it's kicked to the corner. Back up top to the blue line. Thorpe can't get there. Now a race for it. Chiavetti lost the race, and it's back out at center. Gauthier couldn't pick up that puck at center, and Van Ploeg will send it back for Meteor. Down the left wing, Reese Meteor still has it. Centers it out front. Cunningham couldn't get a stick. Ryland Masterson a blast, and it goes just wide. Valancourt steps up down low. Trent Valancourt rubbed out down by Chahati. trying to loosen that puck. He does. Van Ploeg back up top, and they go far side. Masterson at it, roll on his stick. Masterson's got it down low again. Rylan Masterson with it, up top. Trying to dance through the Brantford defense is Cunningham. That didn't work, and it's back out at center. Masterson rips it right back in. Gall shovels it to the near side wall, but turns it over. Masterson, he's been everywhere here tonight. They tip it in and score! Rylan Masterson will lead the charge here in Brantford, and his second goal this season is his 100th point in the Greater Ontario Hockey League. And with 4:51 to go, Fort Erie's got a 3-1 lead. So the Mets have been buzzing here in this first period. It's been all Fort Erie, but meanwhile, here's Brantford back, trying to get back to within one before the end of the period. Under 5 to play, it's Tonelli back down the ice. Sam Tonelli will turn back on the half boards up top to the point. High slot, walking in Schmidt, a drive. It's gloved down by Gall, and he hangs on. They win the faceoff back. Fort Erie does. It's blocked on the way to the goal. Kim LeMay will work it out. Turns it over. But they're in offside as Tonelli just across the blue line before Radford. And this faceoff will come back in the neutral zone with 4:17 to go here in this first period. Off the faceoff, Metz will win it. Mazzotti will fire it down in. Gall out to play it for the Titans. He'll play it around the glass. Knocked down by Greenwald, though. Greenwald gets it in. Tonelli lost it off his stick. Sam Tonelli's got it on the near side. Tonelli in behind the Brantford goal takes a spill, but Fort Erie will hold his own. Back up top to the blue line. Thorpe will spin off his man. Here's Thorpe. He'll work it down low into the corner, shovels it in behind the net. Meteors will get changes on the fly. In behind the goal, Pepperell. He got tied up, taken away there by Caleb Frank, and Brantford will work it through center. Mazzotti will head back into his own zone. He'll play it around the far side board, skipped up through, but not out. Held in by Frank, and second time does not. And Greenwald and Frank get tied up on the far side as they'll pull everybody out of that scrum. Don't think anything's going to come of it. And with 3:23 to go, this faceoff comes to the neutral zone. .323 to go. Faceoff tied up by Scriven, but Fort Erie will come away with it. Alex Mazzotti. Mazzotti wires it in deep. Gall misplayed it in behind the goal, but Cunningham Luke's there to save it. Cunningham Luke's up the near side wing. It'll be picked up here by Scriven. Scriven through center. Fires to the far side. Stippen after it. 3 minutes to play here in the first period. Kerr and Stippen, they battle. Now it'll be Scriven working it back up top to the point. Cunningham Luke's into the slot for Arrojato. Back in behind the 40 goal, just out of the reach of Masterson. Poke back to the point. There's a drive coming on goalie, and it will deflect up and out of play off the stick of Moffett. Big game in the standings race. Couple of big games actually in the standings race here tonight. Caledonia and Ayr is a big game if you're a Titan fan. We mentioned Brantford sitting in that 6th seed, so a battle between 7 and 8 in Ayr tonight. Arrojato, a centering pass out front. Moffett got the pad down, and he's falling back on it. Loose puck, and the whistle goes. Moffitt's got it under him somewhere with 2:30 to go. We mentioned Brantford 5 points up on the Air Centennials for that 6th seed currently. You start to see teams separating themselves here in the Eastern Conference. Fort Erie remains 4 points up in that 3rd seed on Pelham, but 3 games in hand for the Meteors. Off the face-off, it's won back by Nicholson. Meteors will play it out at center, hits Adamo. Danny Adamo into the zone. Nice move, Adamo to the backhand goal to save. It was drifting back into his goal, but he was able to cover it and hang on. Had Evan Nicholson right there on the doorstep. And this face-off will come in the Brantford zone. Nicholson gets thrown out of the face-off dot. Zimmerman comes in. It'll roll on goal, and Gall will take no chances as he covers once more. No David Buckman, no Gavin Christie tonight for Brantford. Really tough time of year for some junior hockey programs, but a great time of year for the opportunities some of the kids get with World Junior Camps happening, tons of players missing, so opportunities arising for other players, including Christie and Buckman, as mentioned, for Brantford. That one will come on goal. Wicklander was up with them this past week as well. He just got back. As it'll be flipped down into the zone. O'Farrell after it for Fort Erie. He'll play it high off the glass and bounce it out at center. Now a race for it, Zimmerman. Chahadi got back in time for Brantford. He'll knife it up top. Capel out at center. His pass missed. Danny Adamo picks it up. Adamo down the far wing. He's in. Gets tied up there by Takis. Good defense. Meteors still have the puck though. Played back up top to the point. Thorpe, D to D, Mazzotti. Alex Mazzotti fires a shot. Capel blocks it. And Brantford will strangle it back out at center. Fired into the zone. Titans will go for changes. Moffitt will leave it there for the defenseman, and Mazzotti will start back up ice. Mazzotti, coast to coast into the zone. As we enter the last minute to play here in period number 1. Taken by Wicklander in behind his own goal. Wicklander will shovel it out for Frank. Couldn't connect with him. It'll be sent back in by Reese Mateer. Mazzotti off for a change. Valancourt onto the ice for the Meteors as Brantford back up at center. D to D Watt in his own zone. Stays with it. Now he'll get it down the ice. That'll bounce wide of the goal. Masterson back to collect for the Mets for Valancourt. Valancourt up on the near side wing. Mateer tips it through. Cunningham out of his reach. Kim LeMay will chip it back in his own zone, and Crowell will settle it down. Dump back for Wicklander. He'll start out on the far side. 10 seconds to play here in the first. Wicklander tried to hop around Masterson. That didn't work too well. Back out at center. Cunningham takes a bump. Still a loose puck, and that'll do it for this first period of play here in Brantford. So not an ideal start for the Titans coming in winners of 3 in a row. But Fort Erie puts 3 up on the board through 20 minutes of play. Ryland Masterson, the 3rd goal of this period. Ethan Pepperell and Reese Mateer, the other goal scorers. It was Ryan Scriven for the Titans. That is your first period goal scoring summary. As we will step aside here at the Gretzky Center. 3-1 Mets through 20. We'll be back for period number 2 here in Brantford. Welcome back inside the Gretzky Center. Alec Murray with you. Second period underway. Mets and Brantford here on a Thursday night. As 10 seconds into the period, that puck will be launched out of play. So a face-off coming in the neutral zone. 3-1 Mets on top after 20 minutes of play. Second meeting between these two teams this season. Face-off one right into the zone. Greenwald the shot. Turned aside there by Gall. Dump back to the near side. Settled down by Takis. He'll work it out at center, but right to the stick of Trent Valancourt, who's in. Tonelli, a shot. That one deflects off Gall and up over the post to the near side. Colton Radford in after it, down in the corner. Greenwald back up top to the point. Masterson for Valancourt. Valancourt lets it fly, gets through traffic. Gall the save, unable to hang on to it. Another pass out front. It's driven up top. And all the way around and down the ice is Masterson back to collect. Masterson's got Tonelli right back into the zone they come. Near side pass. Greenwald was heading for a change. Meanwhile, here's Wicklander back through center. Wicklander a shot. Moffat the save. Rebound will bounce to the near side wall. Stippen holds it in. High slot. Wicklander stops. Dishes. Stippen working in tight. Finn Moffat gets across and makes the save. That crease. Body's going flying into the Fort Erie blue paint, and now it'll be flipped and deflected up and out of play. As bodies everywhere down in the Fort Erie zone. What a save by Finn Moffat to get the left pad down to keep it 3-1. Brantford wanting to change. It was tipped, so they should be allowed to, and now they'll allow that change to happen. One final from today. 2 games in progress. One a big one. If you're a fan of Brantford in the Eastern Conference standing race. Work down low, Arellano. Trying to work that puck free. He does. It'll come back up top, Mulholland. Mulholland snaps one on goal. It hits a stick and deflects up and out of play. That lone final from today. Of course, this morning, the school day game in Hamilton didn't go their way. 10-1 Cambridge win. Picking up their 29th win, getting back in the win column. Back-to-back morning games for the Redhawks. Wednesday in Fort Erie and today in Hamilton. Able to split the difference. Meanwhile, Brantford holds it in. A pass coming out front. Moffat got it down and keeps it out. Another nice save by Finn Moffat as he was able to stick it to that left pad. We got a penalty coming to Fort Erie here, and this is going to be our first penalty call of this hockey game. And a big power play for the Brantford Titans upcoming 2 minutes into this second period. Other games going on, the Ayr Centennials and Caledonia Corvairs. Cali trying to avoid losing their 14th straight game. Down 2-0 to the Ayr Centennials. Lucas Merrick has his 10th. That game a couple of minutes into that second period in Ayr at the North Dumfries Community Center. 2-2 Listowel and Sarnia tied after 20 minutes of play. Sarnia trying to get their first win of this season. Frank will set it up on the power play. Gauthier back up top to the point. Frank skates to stick. Masterson keeps him to the outside. Frank gets it back up top. Gauthier. He'll skate it in the high slot and dish off. Rink wide pass. Here's Frank. He'll fire. That one deflected on top of the Fort Erie net. Into the corner. Tonelli will play it off the glass and down the ice. Fort Erie will get new killers out. 40 seconds gone and the man advantage for Brantford. Watt. He'll drop it back to Gauthier. Gauthier cuts through the Titan logo at center. Dishes off for Frank. Frank, the team leader in points on Brantford. He'll work it down along the goal line. Up top to the point. Watt had it skip over his stick, and it's out at center. Watt able to evade Nicholson. It'll be fired back in by Brantford. 1 minute to go on the man advantage. Held in by Frank. His pass is cleanly picked off. Could be a breakaway for Nicholson. Frank, a good job coming back defensively to keep Nicholson off the puck. And Brantford will set out of their own zone. Crowell has it at center. Draped by 2 Meteors. He's taken down to the ice. Into the corner. Schmidt first one on it for Fort Erie. He'll pin it down low. 35 seconds to go in the power play. 3-1 Meteor lead here in this second period. Gauthier trying to poke that puck free. It'll roll back up top to the point. Takis can't get there in time, and he's got to drift out in center. Takis drops it back. Frank will swipe in to collect. 20 seconds to go. One more rush here for the Titans on the man advantage. Frank trying to walk through the Fort Erie defense. Poked off his stick. Schmidt in the corner will clear it down the ice, and that'll pretty much do it on the power play. So they get one shot on that man advantage, does Brantford. And hopping out of the box is Patty O'Farrell, back to even strength, 5-on-5. 4 minutes into this second. Brantford's got it back in the zone. Papel. He'll play it to the near side. Met there by Masterson. Crowell and Van Plu battle for it. Mazzotti coming in to help. Mazzotti back for Masterson. He's got Cunningham at the blue line. Cunningham will flip it down the ice as Pepperell heads in after it. Cunningham Lukes on Pepperell. He'll play it off for Takis. Rink wide pass as Hill will move it into the Fort Erie zone. Mazzotti, first man on it for the Mets. He'll play it back for Masterson, around for Adamo. Adamo, that one off the skate of Gavin Van Plu, and it's going to bounce up into the Brantford bench for a face-off that should come in the neutral zone. It will. Both teams will make changes here as this face-off will come on the Fort Erie side of things in the neutral ice area. Scriven's line and Tonelli's line over the boards for this face-off. One back by Scriven. Mulholland across the Fort Erie blue line, off the end board. Schmidt read it well. He'll pick it up and play it out for Tonelli. Tonelli sitting at 49 points on the season for the Meteors as Adamo works his way in. Second in the Greater Ontario Hockey League in scoring. Colton Radford trying to free that puck up, but it'll come to Stippen. He'll work it out at center. Arrojato trying to lead it up for Scriven. Scriven, bouncing puck. He gets taken into the boards, but Stippen right there. Centering pass, he fanned on it. Antonelli will wheel it back out of the 40 zone. He's got Colton Radford for Danny Adamo. Adamo back in for Tonelli, trying to go back for Radford, but he got tied up. Meteors hold it in. Adamo a drive right on, tight angle shot. And James Gall there to make the save, no rebound, as he'll hang on for a draw deep inside Titan territory. 14:30 to go here in this second period. This faceoff will come down to the left of Gall. Brantford trying to extend their win streak to 4 here as we get into the last weekend before the holiday break. Fort Erie trying to get to double digits in 10. Meteor holds it in. Tight angle shot, save. Gall wrap around a 10, and they score. Second opportunity, and Fort Erie's got it to a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1 Meteors. Looks like it's going to be Liam Kerr who was able to follow that puck and squeak it through the wickets of Gall. And now 4-1. Back into the 40 zone, Brantford Wicklander. In behind the net, centering pass out front, unable to get a clean shot, Frank plays it back for Civetti. Civetti gets rocked by Masterson. Look out, big time hit. Civetti's bucket comes off. He's got to get off the ice. Meanwhile, Wicklander circling the O-zone. Bodies piling up in the 40 zone. Valancourt trying to work it free. Kerr in there as well. Back up top to the point. Frank plays it off the boards. Kerr collects, and he'll play it down the ice and a race for it on the far side. Meteor going to be first one on it to relegate the icing call. Meteor. And Brantford will work it out. Into the zone. Frank working around. Wicklander loose puck out front. And Fort Erie unable to clear the zone. Mazzotti will carry it out through center now. Alex Mazzotti down the left wing. Gets it in tight. Goal to save. Nicholson Tried to play it back out. Gauthier will play it up. Not out as Zimmerman holds it in. Another turnover in the offensive zone for the Titans. It's been their kryptonite here tonight. Working it back down low along to the near side boards. It's held in. Zimmerman a drive on goal, and Gall will make the save. Off the face-off, this puck will deflect up and out of play. 4-1 Meteors on top here on Thursday night at the Gretzky Center. Thorpe back of the blue line, far side, Mazzotti. Alex Mazzotti will step it back up top. Thorpe, one-timer, hit a body out front, loose puck. Down is Gall, backing into the goal, but he's able to squeeze it and keep it out. Mazzotti will head to the bench for a quick note from his head coach and back on. Face off in the Brantford defensive zone. Tied up. Nicholson trying to work it free back up top. It's been the bottom lines for the Meteors tonight so far that have propelled them to a 4-1 lead. Top two lines, no points combined. Bottom two lines, all the goals for the Meteors. Bouncing down low in the Brantford zone, and Gall, tricky bounce there, will cover and play it safe. Reese Meteor, a couple of points tonight already, a goal and an assist. Ethan Pepperell, same. Eric Cunningham chipping in on a pair of goals. Good night for the bottom six of Fort Erie thus far. Ricochet out front, the shot. Nicholson turned aside, good save by Gall, point blank. Work back down in the corner. Meteors control the zone. Trying to work it out, and Brantford finally does get it out, but not that far as Fort Erie's right back in. Zimmerman, drop pass, Greenwald stepping in, dishing into the slot. Nicholson, as that one rolled off the heel of his stick, and now it'll be bounced out at center. O'Farrell sends it back to the far side. Greenwald trying to get around Mulholland. Good play, Mulholland back out at center. O'Farrell skips it back, but Brantford's going to be offside, so they'll have to retreat. They'll make changes as Patty O'Farrell works out at center. Here's O'Farrell into the zone. O'Farrell dancing to the goal, out front, loose puck, Gall out, able to swipe it to the corner. Played around the glass, back up top. Valancourt collects, a drive goes wide. Back up top to the near side wall. Fort Erie still holding it in. Now it'll be chopped out, and Stippen, he's got to step into the zone. Valancourt draped all over him. He'll go to the far side boards and knife it down low. Scriven skating in. A tight angle drive. Moffat the save. Masterson skips it up for Adamo, and here goes Danny Adamo. He'll get it over for Tonelli. Onside, Sam Tonelli stops up, blows a tire, able to get the puck back to himself somehow. Down low. Adamo missed it. Masterson will collect on the near side. Far side, one-timer. Danny Adamo fanned on it. And Brantford will work it out at center. Scriven, big time hit, look out. Masterson rocks Scriven. He's shaken up on the play. Fort Erie back into the zone. Tonelli holds, fires off the crossbar, and it's up and out of play with 10:14 to go. Midway point almost to this hockey game, and Brantford's got to find a way to get the offense clicking here on Finn Moffat. What a hit in the neutral zone. Good to see Scriven hop right back up, and good to go. Face-off win for Fort Erie down in the offensive zone. Played back around to the near side corner. Oon couldn't get it. Nickerson does. He draws back into the lineup here tonight for the Meteors as well. Still trying to dig it free. It's back up top. And Brantford. Jihadi will chip it down in deep. Thorpe back to connect for the Meteors around to the near side. Still a battle for it down in the corner. Van Blue mixed up in there. Oon will free it up for Brantford, but it's off the skate. Frank holds the zone. Frank will chip it to the far side. Deflected on goal, and it's tipped just wide. Good shift here from this Titans line as Frank wins the battle down low. Frank steps out front amongst 4 Meteors. Still has the puck. Now fires a shot. And Moffat, who saw it all the way, gloves it down and hangs on. 9 minutes to play here in the second period of 4-1 Mets. It was 1-1 back in the first period. 3 unanswered for the Meteors here. Coming into this game tonight, Fort Erie, the second least amount of goals allowed on this season, just trailing Stratford. As that one is turned on goal, Moffat. And Greenwald will work it up at center. Meteor trying to split the defense. Meteor in on goal. And a good stick out front by the Brantford defender. Able to swipe it off the goal line. Here's O'Farrell in a tight angle shot. And Gall shut that down. What a play by Aiden Krall in the blue paint. Able to swipe it away. That puck had a chance to roll in by Gall. But Krall keeps it a 3-goal margin. Kerr, Meteor, and Greenwald line switching up here for Fort Erie as this one continues on, and that one is snapped down by James Gall, as now you see Dylan Greenwald bump out off the top line. He'll play with Kerr and Meteor for now. You saw Gavin Van Plu flipping up the charts for the Meteors here tonight. Played down low. It'll be played off the glass and back down the ice. That'll roll. Icing's going to be waved off. Moffat will leave it for Schmidt. Schmidt hits his man on the wing. Trouble with it out front, Meteor, but able to get it out at center. Kerr will play it up through the neutral zone. Meteor back in. Gauthier trying to get it away from him, but Meteor able to work it up for Greenwald. Here's Dylan Greenwald across the blue line. Fort Erie making changes. Greenwald will stay up in on the attack. Chivetti chips it back in the zone. A stretch pass on the far side, able to connect with Kim LeMay. Quentin Kim LeMay drops it down. Chivetti busting in on the far wing onto his offhand. He'll work it down low. Kim LeMay looking for it in between his skates, but it's worked free back to the point. Takis, his shot. Moffat to save. Valancourt lodged in a battle with Gauthier out front of the goal. And Fort Erie will carry it up through center. Masterson in on side, try to dish it across, but Papel intercepted. Masterson right back on it, and Fort Erie holds it in the zone. Here's Nicholson up top. Nicholson a drive, goes just high. Bouncing puck in the blue paint. Gall is down, and it's swept aside by the Titans and out at center. Meteors will get on side with 7 to go in the period. In behind the goal, it'll be Watt. Watt just lofts it up through center. Mazzotti will head back for it. Brantford will change up. Thorpe works it out, but his pass missed Zimmerman. Cunningham Lukes will play it off the boards. Battle forward in the neutral zone. Radford comes away with it. Here's Colton Radford in. Radford shot off the end boards, bouncing to Gall. And James Gall will play it safe and cover. 6:47 to go here in this second period. Faceoff coming to the left, or the right rather, of Gall. Meteors hold it in. Papel can't clear the blue line. O'Farrell, good job to hold the zone. Chahadi chips it in behind the net, but he turns it over. Centering pass out front, whacking at it. Gall is down, and he has it. Able to find it before Cunningham. 2 other games in progress around the Greater Ontario Hockey League today. A big one in the Eastern Conference, Erie and Caledonia at the North Dumfries Community Center. 2-1 Centennials lead. Gage Butcher has Caledonia on the board in that one. Corvairs trying to snap a 13-game losing streak tonight, as that'll be icing on Brantford. And Listowel's taking a 3-2 lead in the second period, midway through over Sarnia, as Colton Henderson has his 5th of the season for the Sykes. Big Friday as we enter the last weekend of play before the holiday break comes. Face-off win for Erie. Valancourt back at the point. His shot dribbles in and scores. Trent Valancourt let it fly in his first game back. He'll get credit with it. Another defenseman strikes for the Meteors, and they'll extend their lead to 4. It's 5-1. And that's going to be the end of the night for James Gall. Gall, who's been so good down the stretch here, November into December, gets the hook. And Lucas Bergman will step in between the pipes for the remainder of this one. So see if that sparks the Brantford offense here with the goaltending changes. That puck will deflect high off the glass but stay in play. On that Valancourt goal, Tonelli awarded the assist, so his 50th point this season, as that one is tipped out front of the net. Second player in the Greater Ontario Hockey League to reach 50 points this season is Sam Tonelli, as it bounces down to the blue line. Near side pass. Out front of the goal, Moffat had it shut down on the near side. Another drive coming through, and it's gloved down by Moffat. Another note, too, Sam Tonelli across his career, now 9 points shy of 200. Brantford in their own zone. It'll be worked on the far side. Takis, under 5 to play in the second. Takis across the blue line, works it in deep. Played back out front, but Reese Meteor is there to pick it up, and here goes Meteor and Greenwald. Greenwald into the middle. Greenwald to the backhand out front. Thorpe was trailing, couldn't get it on his stick. Papple back the other way for Brantford. Cuts the edge on goal and shut down by Moffat, who covers. If the playoffs started tonight as that one is played out of play, tipped off the stick of Cunningham Lukes, these two teams would play in the first round. Fort Erie, the 3 seed, Brantford, the 6 seed. Now, a lot can change, but we mentioned earlier on that the Eastern Conference starting to space out just a little bit now as you get past the midway point into the holiday break for these teams. O'Farrell plays it up at center, rolling puck down into the Brantford zone. Wicklander there to pick it up. It'll be played back off the boards and down the ice. O'Farrell will head after it. Stretch pass in behind the defense is Zimmerman, but it's on goal, and Gall will have to cover, as Radford and Zimmerman were hot in pursuit. Off the face-off, it's out of the far side boards. Loose puck will be gathered by Brantford. Cunningham Lukes will play it off the glass, and Chivetti will fire it down into the 40 zone. Valancourt, first man back. He'll send it around the boards for Adamo, but it's picked up by Chivetti. Turning around, Arejado. He'll chip it back to the blue line. Mulholland tried to get a shot off, couldn't, and now Adamo's going to have a breakaway from center. Danny Adamo with 17 on his stick. Goal said no. And he makes the save, rather, not goal, sorry. As that's Lucas Bergman with his first big save of this hockey game coming in for James Gull. So Bergman shuts down Adamo to keep it a 4-goal game here in the second period. Off the face-off, it'll be picked up by the Titans up at center. Wicklander has it on the far wing. He'll enter the zone. Gauthier trying to work it in for Frank. That was denied. It's flipped back high off the boards. It'll roll back down the ice. Icing's going to be waved off, so it'll be Gallon there as Chahati will play it around the boards. Right back for out front Wicklander, almost turning it over out front of Bergman. Wicklander now turning it over in the zone. Fort Erie. Loose puck, and Brantford will pull it out at center. Lang up top in the slot, and Fort Erie will flip it out through center. Tapped around the man, and here goes Mazzotti on the far side. Alex Mazzotti's got Nickerson to the goal. His pass across just off the stick of the Fort Erie forward. Battle for below the Brantford goal. And it'll be knuckled out at center by the Titans. Schmidt back to collect for O'Farrell. 2 minutes to go here in the second period. Van Plu, the pass missing him. Crowell back into the zone, but it's turned back the other way by Gavin Van Plu. He's got Greenwald in a 2-on-1. Here's Van Plu into the backhand. Van Plu off the post. Beat Bergman, but not the iron as it's back up top to the point. Schmidt. Greenwald tried to go far side of a man coming in. Knocked down as O'Farrell. Fort Erie holds the zone. And Shahadi will chip it down the ice. That'll be icing. Or no, they're going to wave off the icing as Schmidt back for O'Farrell. Brantford will change on the back end as Fort Erie able to tip that one in on goal. Look out! Bergman had to be sharp there as that one come bouncing in on a short hop. Frank's in on side. Trying to get it across. That didn't work as Kerr came in. Valancourt will play it off the boards. He gets spun off the puck. Titans, Papel, centering pass for Frank. Back to the point. Watt holds, deals off. As that one comes on goal, save made by Moffat. Papel back onto the far boards. Watt trying to hold the zone. Kerr battles it out at center. Under a minute to go now here in this second frame. Frank throws one on goal and nobody out front. As Finn Moffat easily makes the save with 50 seconds to play. Flipped out by the Meteors, now a race for it. It's Aiden Zimmerman, got Radford to the goal. Zimmerman has it down low, up top head. Nicholson rolled off his stick. Nicholson centers it back out front, loose puck down into the corner. He gets sandwiched amongst the pair of Titans. Backdoor pass, Zimmerman missed him. He's tripped up. Able to hold it in the zone momentarily, and now Brantford will bring it out at center. Papel down the wing, gathered by Mazzotti. Mazzotti in his own zone for Thorpe, and Cameron Thorpe with 10 seconds will work it through the neutral zone. Thorpe will flip it into the zone. Cunningham Lukes backhands it up. Not out. Still not out of the zone as Zimmerman held it in. 5 seconds to play, and Takis will throw it to Cunningham Lukes, and they'll soak the rest of the second period as Brantford finding themselves down 4 here after 40 minutes of play at the Gretzky Center. 5-1 the score. Not the night for James Gull. He gets the hook in the second period as Lucas Bergman comes in, makes a couple of big saves to keep it a 4-goal game, but the work ahead in the third period for Brantford, a mountain to climb if they want to get back into this one. Down 5-1 to the Meteors, who look for their 10th straight win. We'll step aside and we'll be back for period 3 here at the Gretzky Center. Welcome back inside the Gretzky Center. Alec Murray with you. Third period underway. 5-1 for Erie. On top of Brantford here tonight on Thursday. As the Mets go for their 10th consecutive win here. Last loss for this team, November 16th in Elmira. Brantford looking to mount a comeback here in this third period. Kral back on the far side in a battle with Tonelli. Kral takes Tonelli in. Tonelli throws him to the ice. Cunningham back to the near side. Meteors playing around with the lines here in that second period into the third. Tonelli back up top to the point. Here's a drive coming from Masterson, and it's high over top of the glass as Eric Cunningham starts out on a line with Danny Adamo and Sam Tonelli. Faceoff will come to the left of the goaltender Bergman. Bergman replaced Gull in that second period. Pepper all around to the far side, back for Thorpe. Thorpe shovels it down low, Nickerson. Nickerson, good edge work back up top to the point. Mazzotti fanning on a shot, picked up out front, and Brantford. They'll work it with Mulholland through center. Good stick there, Arejano into the zone, but Mazzotti able to come back with it. Still tied up out front of the benches, and now Mulholland will just play it back for Cunningham-Lukes. Cunningham-Lukes up on the far side, Stippen. He's got Pepper all draped all over him. He's got to play it back for Mulholland. He'll fire it into the zone. All the way around Thorpe. Takes his man into the boards. Arejano unable to come away with it. And Mazzotti will play it up for Pepperall. Pepperall able to get that puck up through center. Here's Nickerson. Mets will change on the fly as Nickerson and Kerr down low on the forecheck. Papel able to work that puck free. And Cunningham-Lukes will play it out at center. He'll go for a change. Azun will work it down on the far side. O'Farrell will play it out for Fort Erie. Here's Kerr. Kerr down the left wing will fire it into the Brantford zone. Takis after it for the Titans. He'll play it in behind the goal. Chahati trying to work that puck out of the zone. O'Farrell able to hold it in. His shot blocked by Capel. And it's blocked out of the zone and down the ice. Schmidt back to collect for the Meteors. His pass up at center. Played off the boards there as Greenwald will turn it up ice. Greenwald hits O'Farrell in on side. 3 Mets into the zone. Little feed pass. Zimmerman in tight. Good stick on the backhand by Caleb Frank as it's back out the other way. Takis, he gets sent down to the ice. Battle for it. Nicholson trying to pick it up, but Frank has it into the zone. He gets bumped. Zimmerman now at center. Neutral zone battle. Chahati trying to work that puck in deep. Can't. And Wicklander comes in to scoop it up. He plays it off a skate. Chahati there to pick it up for Brantford. Back in his own zone. Played off the boards hard. Right to the stick of Patty O'Farrell. He'll rip it on goal. Save made Bergman. As Fort Erie will make changes, Brantford will start in their own end. Takis has to play it back for Chahati. Up along the far side, Gauthier tried to play it back. Miscommunication there as Wicklander has to go collect for Brantford. 4-goal deficit here in this third period. Wicklander plays it up. Crowell will flip it high through center. Knocked down by Masterson at the logo, but Frank there to control for Brantford. Hayden Krull out of his own zone. Stretch pass, misfiring. Icing will be waved off. Masterson there to pick it up along the boards. He'll fire it out at center. Alan Watt back for Frank. Frank in onside across the 40 blue line. He'll flip it in for Wicklander. Wicklander try to go back up top. Masterson picked it off. Good job to hold the zone by Krull. They work it along that far side board. Wicklander centering pass. It bounced up top, and Fort Erie unable to clear it. Here's Watt. He goes far side. That pass broken up by Adamo. Tonelli will play it off the boards, but once again not out of the zone. Now Tonelli will tie his man up, and Sam Tonelli's got to break away from center. Here's Tonelli in all alone. Tonelli stopped by Bergman. 2 breakaways for Bergman since entering the game, and he's 2 for 2. Mazzotti out from behind his own goal. He'll fire it down the ice. That should be icing. Oh, they're going to wave it off. Somebody must have touched it on the way down the ice. As Watt will now send it back the other way. That will go for icing on Brantford. And now Watt having an exchange with Van Plu. As this faceoff will come all the way back down inside the defensive zone of the Titans. 15-19 to play here in this third period. And a 5-1 lead. Lucas Bergman's played well since entering the game late in the second period. Couple of big saves to keep it 4. Face-off win, Fort Erie. Mazzotti, a drive, goes just wide. Nickerson down low on the far boards for Van Plu. Greenwald comes in to help out as well. Cunningham Luke's trying to play it free. He will. All the way around for Kim LeMay. Kim LeMay gets tied up by Pepper all along the boards. He takes a spill. Watt in there trying to dig it free. Nickerson for Fort Erie. Brantford will come away with it. Cunningham Lukes tried to go rink wide for Hill. That was picked off. Mazzotti. Shovel pass off the boards. Here comes Nickerson into the zone. Pepperall. He fires a shot. Bergman the save. Rebound goes just high. Nickerson back on it. Down low. Fort Erie controlling centering feed. Another good save by Bergman in tight. 2 breakaways and a point blank chance for Fort Erie. Bergman's got them all. And now Cunningham Lukes will play it out of his zone. Kim LeMay. Up along the half boards, Mulholland comes in to help out. That puck comes loose. Pepperall able to just get it out over the blue line. Chivetti steps up. Loose puck. Cunningham Lukes in the slot, a shot. Moffat the save. Back in behind the goal. Schmidt fanned on the pass. O'Farrell right there to help him. O'Farrell stretch pass, another breakaway. Dylan Greenwald in. He fires. The save is made by Bergman again. Brantford having trouble in their own zone. Out front, Greenwald to the backhand. Can't get a shot off. It's been the storyline of this hockey game. As you really see the hurt of no Christie and no Buckman in this Brantford lineup tonight is that play in their own zone as it'll be dumped back in. Bergman out to play it. It'll be chopped along but held in by Fort Erie. Kerr in tight. Mateer out front all alone. Couldn't get it to him. Stippen will collect for the Titans and he'll work it out at center. Arejado across the offensive blue line. What a feed out front. They score. What a find by Arejado as Stippen was heading to the goal and it's tipped in. Beautiful play by the Brantford Titans to get it to a 3-goal deficit. It's 5-2. As the Titan captain strikes here in the third period with 13:04 to go. So a 5-2 hockey game here in the third gets Brantford a little bit closer as Zimmerman down in it in the zone. Battle for it in behind the Brantford net. Takis has it around to the far side. Thorpe will hold it in. Bouncing puck down low. Zimmerman has it. Wraparound attempt. Came through the blue paint to the near side. Nicholson holds it in. Down low. Zimmerman trying to work it out front on a power move. That didn't work, and here goes Kim LeMay. Kim LeMay leading the charge. Drop pass. Nice move into the zone, and a shot right on Gauthier. And the save is made by Finn Moffat. Face-off down inside the 40 zone. It'll be picked up by the Mets. Snell working out for Cunningham, and a 3-on-1 back the other way. Cunningham's got Tonelli, and another man. They score! Danny Adamo. And Brantford gets back in this one, and they give it right back up. A 3-on-1 from center for the Meteors, and Danny Adamo's team leading 17th of the season makes it a 6-2 game here in the third. Tonelli wins the face-off, but trying to carry it over the blue line. That didn't work. He was turned back through center. Bouncing it back out, Danny Adamo. One-on-one, back the other way. Here's Adamo, quick snapshot. It was blocked on the way to the goal. Loose puck, Scriven. He'll come back to pick it up. Adamo's got it on the half wall. He'll work it. Cunningham, Luke's able to pick that off. Mulholland in a battle with Cunningham now in the corner. Battle for it, comes up top to Masterson. He'll feed it for Cunningham, score! Eric Cunningham, 7-2 Fort Erie. Back-to-back shifts with a goal for the Mets. And the lead is now 5. Played up along the near side, Valancourt. He'll work it down into the zone. Played back to the near side corner. Brantford will work it back out. Here's Papel across the blue line. Papel try to make a move. That didn't work. As Mazzotti will send it back the other way. Here's Nickerson. Nickerson into the zone for Pepperell. His shot goes wide. Back into the zone. Mazzotti got tied up. He'll play it down low. Brantford. Deep inside the Fort Erie zone. It's played along by Mazzotti. It'll be lofted out at center. Takis has it back in his own zone. Meteors will reset in their own zone. They'll make changes up front. 10:20 to go, almost the midway point here of this third period. 7-2 Mets on top. Flip tie off the glass, back out at center. Meteor. As Schmidt will fire it in on goal. Catch and release from Bergman. He'll leave it in behind the net for Takis. Back into the zone, bouncing puck. Takis has it in the corner. O'Farrell trying to work that puck free. Out front of the 40 zone. It'll be knocked down here by the Mets, and they'll play it back up. Not out. Good hold on the back end by Hill. And second opportunity will be picked off by Greenwald. He's up through center. Lost it as Wicklander will control in his own zone. This puck will be worked back into the zone, Fort Erie. Trent Valancourt up at center, 7-2 Mets on top, 8:30 to go. Nicholson with it in the neutral zone. He'll throw it for Zimmerman. Tapped by Masterson into the Brantford end. Here's Masterson down below the goal line, looking out front for Nicholson off his stick. Masterson able to hold it in the zone, but only momentarily as Gauthier gets leveled at center ice. Kim LeMay in big-time block shot, rebound, score! They make it 7-3. Great second effort by the Titans. And Ethan Arejano gets Brantford second of the period. First one was blocked. Arejano stayed right with it and is able to bury the rebound. 7-3. As we hit the 8-minute mark and look out into the 40 bench as that puck comes flying in. And we'll get a face-off. Looks like they're going to spot it back down inside the Brantford zone. Face-off will be to the left of Bergman. 40 wins it. Mazzotti save Bergman. Rebound out front. He got another one. Down is the Brantford goaltender and is able to get a whistle there. A couple of big saves by Bergman. A couple of nice saves as the face-off will stay inside the Titan zone. Face-off back inside the Titan zone to the left of Bergman. Off the draw, it's won by Brantford. They'll work it up to the point, held in by Thorpe. Thorpe moving his way in from the point. Thorpe in on goal. The save is made there by Bergman. And it'll be played off the boards and out. Mazzotti got to go back for it. Cunningham in his own zone. Mazzotti circling back, collects. He'll work it up through center. Wicklander bumps him off stride, but it's whipped in by Fort Erie. Tonelli working it on the half wall. Hill comes away with it and plays it around for Wicklander. Wicklander for Kim LeMay at the center of the ice. He'll work it up through the neutral zone. O'Farrell plays it back for Danny Adamo. Cunningham. He'll collect it for Fort Erie and fire it into the zone. That puck will bounce down. Mulholland will head in after it. Fort Erie will change up front. Under 7 to play. Nickerson able to hold it in. Wicklander pokes him off the puck as Arejano comes back in to pick it up for the Titans. They'll move it through at center. Loose puck. Pepperell knifes it back out of the neutral zone. Cunningham Lukes will move his way through center. Into the Fort Erie end. Cunningham Lukes trying to get around his man. Could not. Schmidt took him off the puck, and O'Farrell will collect it back out at center. Shovel pass through the neutral zone. Here's O'Farrell again. Walks into a one-timer, and Bergman got a piece of it. Van Ploeg trying to work that puck back out top. Tied up down below the goal line, and it'll be brought out by Takis. Takis leads Arejano through center. Arejano to the far corner. Rylan Masterson will head in down below the goal line. Fanned on the pass, try to get it up and out. He's swarmed by Titans. Arejano trying to dig it free. He's got Scriven with him as well. He'll back off. Masterson and Van Ploeg in there for Fort Erie. Scriven had it momentarily. It'll be chipped off the boards, and Fort Erie gets it out at center. Jahadi works that puck through the neutral zone. Icing will be waved off. Stippen. He gets crunched down low of the end boards by Masterson. And Fort Erie will control it out of the zone. Here goes Nickerson. Nickerson with Kerr and Pepperell. Kerr lost the edge. Takis will take him off the puck as we hit 5 minutes to play here in the third period. Takis will move it across the Brantford logo, across the blue line. Stippen will spin it back in deep, but Kerr there to meet it for the Meteors, and he'll work it back the other way. Kerr up at center. Feed pass into the zone. Here's Reese Mateer. Cuts to the middle, and he'll work it down to the near side corner. Couldn't get a shot off, as Jahadi was all over him. Wicklander curling back in his own zone. Only one penalty in this entire hockey game so far. Hill chips it back, turns it over. Another turnover. Here's Nicholson's shot. It was blocked up top. Mazzotti able to hold the blue line. He'll shovel it down low for Greenwald. Dylan Greenwald plays it off the boards back up top. Mazzotti feeds it in tight. Tonelli down low. Power move out front. Good pad save made by Bergman. And it'll be sent back down the ice off the boards. Icing will be waved off. Wicklander able to beat it out. Wicklander centering pass to the wrong player. Meteor will send it back the other way for the Meteors. Greenwald in, fires. Glove save made by Bergman. Frank off the rebound. Will work it up for Wicklander. O'Farrell able to get a piece of it. It'll be picked up by Crow for Frank in the slot. Caleb Frank's got to work it back to the near wing. His drive goes high. All the way around to the blue line. Watt holds it in. Tried to get it in deep off a skate. Brantford holds the zone. Up top in the slot. Crowell couldn't pull the trigger. Nicholson, he'll work it out at center. And here go the Meteors back again. It's Aiden Zimmerman on a stretch. Zimmerman in as he tried to go short side. And that puck deflects up and out of play. Out of town scoreboard. One final and two other actives on Thursday night. Caledonia 3 unanswered as they lead Ayr 3-2 in the third period. 13 minutes to go there. Jack Gallo has given Caledonia the lead. And Listowel a 4-2 lead over Sarnia. That game in the third period with about 12 minutes left to play at Pat Stapleton in Sarnia. The final from today, Cambridge 10-1 winners over Hamilton earlier this afternoon. 3 minutes to play here in Brantford, 7-3 Fort Erie. They're going to work this one down and snap Brantford's 3-game winning streak. As they're in on side, Fort Erie's going to extend their own to 10 straight. Both of these teams will finish up with one more game before the holiday break. Doesn't get any easier for Brantford as they get Cambridge. And Fort Erie will get Ayr back on Saturday night. Worked out at center. It'll be knocked down. Mulholland in front of his own bench. Chips it back in. Thorpe will go to gather in his own zone. Ripped in by Colton Radford. And off the deflection, it'll be covered by Bergman with 2:18 to play here in the third period. 7-3 Fort Erie on top. Played out at center, slapped back into the zone. Look out, Bergman came off his right pad. Up on the near side, Cunningham lost it. Scriven working it across the blue line. He gets wiped out. Scriven gets in, try to center it. Good play on the back end by Schmidt to knock it down, and it's flipped back out at center. Takis off the boards, bouncing puck into the Fort Erie zone. Tonelli will curl back in his own zone up for Danny Adamo. $1:40 to play in this third period. Adamo leaves it there. Schmidt will loft it in, knocked down by Takis. He'll try to play it out. That didn't work. Adamo, and now we're going to get a hand pass by Fort Erie. So Brantford, the loss tonight will move to 13-13-3 on this season. Fort Erie will move to 26-2. Mazzotti will pick it up in the neutral zone. He'll work it in. Up top. Here's a shot on goal. Bergman the save. Rebound. Kim LeMay. He'll carry it back the other way for Brantford. Frank dumps it off. Far side. Wicklander. Back for Frank in the corner. Frank. He gets shoveled off the puck. Battle for it. Goes back after Van Plu. Nickerson trying to work that puck out of the zone. As we get under a minute to go here, Frank, big hit on the end boards as he got tied up with Cameron Thorpe. Pepperell wires it into the Brantford zone. It'll be sent to the corner by the goaltender. 40 seconds to play. Kral, he'll skate it in behind his own goal. Fanning on it, turnover. And now Fort Erie will get it back out as it's through center ice. Wicklander. 25 seconds. Here's Kim LeMay wheeling in. Kim LeMay shot on goal. Moffat the save. And it'll bounce up and out of play. Now Wicklander going after Schmidt in the corner. And Van Plu will step into that. And Kral as well coming in. And now we got a little bit of a scrum down in the Fort Erie zone near the end of this one in a 7-3 game. Nothing too serious. As that's Stippen who stepped in between Schmidt. And they've got to be separated by the linesman. And we'll try to get through the last 20 seconds of this one here in Brantford. Faceoff will be down inside the Meteors zone with our second and third penalties coming in this hockey game with 20 seconds left. Faceoff win, Brantford. Arajado fanned on it. It'll be flipped out of the zone by the Meteors. For the second time this season, Fort Erie's going to drop 7 on Brantford in their second meeting this year. Watt will slap it down the ice, and that'll do it. So Brantford coming in, they lose their 3-game win streak as Fort Erie on top 7-3, extend their win streak to 10 straight into the double digits as they get their 20th win of the season here on the road. As the Mets remain flaming hot down the stretch here into the Christmas break. Both these teams, one more game. Brantford will head to Cambridge on Saturday night. Ayr and Fort Erie will battle on Saturday night in Fort Erie, as both these teams will play that and then head